Obvious that I'm not thrilled about the start of our Big Ten season. I can't worry about it now because the opportunity we have this weekend against maybe one of the best teams we played in Baylor is right around the corner. We have shot the ball better in the last couple of games, believe it or not. At the same time, that wouldn't be saying a lot because we were shooting it so poorly. It was nice to shoot well against Nebraska. And in the last two games, our defensive three-point field goal percentage has gone down. I think some of it is, and I was going to show you after practice, if some of you are here to interview our guys, I was going to take you up here and give you a little view on what we see, maybe on video. So that's for later. As I said on Sunday, I wasn't pleased with our performance inside. I think because we were helping a lot with our centers on rolls and things, we left some perimeter guys open. So we've challenged those guys, challenged Booker. We're trying to get a little better. All three guys have played a little better in that area in the last 3 days, so that was encouraging. I also love getting a chance to play against a team in Detroit. I think being at Little Caesars is great for us, great for our fans, and it's going to be, I think, a great scene. In Baylor, 6 guys in double figures, talented physically. They're a very talented team, among the top 10 teams in the country in shooting and scoring. They're shooting 52%, they're averaging 91 points. They played a different schedule than us. A lot different, but still you got to make shots. Freshman guard Jacoby Walters leads the team with 15 points. They've got a lot of guys between 10 and 15. The transfer from Toledo, Reja and Dennis, is second with 14 and is one of the better passing guards I've seen. He has turned it over a little bit more. They're a very good offensive rebounding team, and I think a team that would be a big time win if we could find a way to get a win. They've got very, very good players, and they've got, I think, a 6-man off the bench that might be better than one of their starters. So it's a fairly deep team. It's a team that has a 4-man who can shoot it, and that always creates some problems. But if you're wondering, on the other side of it, am I happy with our performance? I'm not. I told you why. I'm not panicking because I think there's some things that are good that we've done. I think we've gotten our turnovers down. Free throw shooting is an interesting thing. We're shooting 66. Our opponents are shooting 76. So as far as our rebounding, which we've not been great at, but it's not as distorted as you'd think, because when you miss a free throw, and we miss more than somebody's there to get the rebound. You get 95% of your missed free throws go to the defense. And so they picking up some rebounds there. We're not getting them because teams are shooting so good from the line against us. Wisconsin going 14 for 14. There were none. And Nebraska shot well too. So we're looking at the things we can control, and I think we listen to ourselves too much. We listen to people. Everybody worried about our offense. The other thing you got to put in perspective is we started out the year 1 for 20 from the 3 and 23 for 40 from the free throw line against James Madison. And when you do that, if you added 0 for 5, 0 for 4, next game we were 1 for 11 from the 3, so that's 2 of 31 from the 3. So when you come out of that, you just take those 0 for 5s, 0 for 6s of our 4 key scorers, and all of a sudden you got Walker shooting 44% from the 3. You got AJ shooting 33 or 4% from the 3. You got Aiken shooting 35 or 6 from the 3. You got Malik shooting 36 from the 3. All of a sudden it looks a little differently. I know that's all part of the deal, and I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to live in the reality that I have to live in right now. I think the biggest problem is by doing that as a staff, we said we got to get our offense better. The last 2 games, our defense has not been as good. And you got to have, I think somebody asked me the question, what's your identity? Our identity for 28, 29 years has been we defend, we rebound, we run. Another encouraging thing against a team that has pretty good guards too, we scored 26 points off our transition against Nebraska. So the running game, that's what we got to get back. If we defend, rebound, and run, we're going to shoot better. We're not going to shoot what we shot in that game. Those first couple of games that distorted everything. We said some of that would come back. We have shot better from the 3. We got to quit worrying about that and get back to who we are, what our staples are, what our identity has been over, what most good teams' identity has been over years, and that's to defend and rebound, and for us, it's to run. So I'll open up for some questions.
What a year this campus has had, so we can put things in perspective, but I say this with complete compassion, mental health-wise, how are you doing? How's the team doing? Have you had a chance to even reflect on that?
Well, coming from you, that's a good question because you're an expert at it. I'm not an expert at it, but I will say this. I'm good. I really am. I've been through some things in the last couple of years that make this look like a walk in the park, and I mean that. So I'm not happy, but I'm not. I don't have any ladders up to the roof that I plan on leaping off of. You've been in it long enough. You know what's going on. I think for players, I think every player is trying to adjust to the last 3-4 years of COVID and everything. That's why, again, last night you see Northwestern and you see those things. You see Creighton go to Vegas and get killed. It's just been. I talked to the guy at Gonzaga yesterday. They go to Washington, not a very good team, and get beat good. And so I think we're all dealing with some things. I think we all are. I think it's a product of some things that have happened. But I was critical of myself, and I still am critical of myself for letting that affect maybe how I coach my team. So I got to do a better job. I got to still be as demanding as I've always been, and maybe spend more time helping kids get through that. They're all going through it. They're going through it in the NBA, they're going through it in college, they're going through it in high school. So it's a good question. But me personally, more disappointed and mad at myself than I am mentally concerned with how I feel. And maybe I'm not reading the tea leaves, but that's how I feel.
What do you do with Carson's had some games where he's been an exceptional rebounder, and then he has 0, but he's going to get pushed around in certain matchups a little bit. What do you do over?
Yeah, I don't think he should get pushed around. He's 6'10", 240. He's gotten stronger than he was. That's why I challenged him. That's why I challenged him. It's gotten to the point where it's almost illegal to challenge anybody anymore. And that falls on me. And that's why when I'll do things in a sarcastic way. I'll do things to cover my players' tails, but I'll also do things that I'm speaking from my heart. When I say that some of that's my fault, that is 100% my fault. That's not to take the pressure off the players. I've got to do a better job, okay? And one of them is, you're right, Carson was playing very good. That's why we moved him into the starting lineup. Maybe he didn't handle that very well. I don't know. I know yesterday was his best practice in 2 weeks, and we went after those 2 guys pretty good. We're trying to get Booker some more minutes, and some of you have asked me off the record, some on the record, but I thought one guy said it best. I've been to practice. I see what the issues are. The problem is all these people that are emailing you and texting you. Book has been great. He's been great. He's just got a ways to go. He's got to get the motor going. He's got to get his strength going. He's got to learn what it's like to play at this level. And Book's been no problem. I asked him the other day why he was kind of seemed down in the dumps. He said, I'm just mad at myself. I haven't done enough, And you know what? I don't hold Book off of anybody. You want to go to Book today and talk to him, you go right to Book. But it does frustrate me with people that have never been out of practice, never seen them, and they got all their opinions. And that affects the kids too. So, I'd say they all got to play better, but I think they're capable of playing better. Amadi had a terrific practice yesterday, and yet I think we got to realize what they are and use them for what they are, and try to keep improving the offense and this and that. But you're right, if those two can defend and rebound, they've done a lot for us. What we look for more of them is because some of the guys that are shooters have not shot as well. So then we look for more out of people that really don't have those skills. So, that's where I got to do a better job.
When you guys came close against Duke, obviously you came close against Arizona. Do you impress upon you guys are on a ton of these top 10 quality opportunities on schedule and kind of make most
Yeah, and then you got to realize that some of these teams are top 10 teams because they're good too. There's a couple of you guys were down at Nebraska. So they hit 3 out of orbit threes, right? I mean, 3 of them. Now, there were a couple others that I'm going to show you later that were very well contested. They don't hit those 3, they shoot 30% instead of 43%, and we probably win the game. So there's other good teams out there. I mean, talked to Matt Painter this morning. He's playing Arizona this weekend. I had talked to Greg Gard right after our game. The next day I talked to him. I said, man, I thought they were going to go down and beat Arizona the way they played against us. He called me the day after, and, they weren't even in the game ever. That is what's happening right now. There's other good teams, and there's a lot of bodies that are like this. That's what I'm trying to manage. But your point is a good one, that we have to get some quality wins. But, you look at the schedule some of these teams have played, and, there's so many things that are questioned. I'll just give you this for a preview. I got a call from a friend of mine, Bruce Weber, that did a game with Indiana State, and his comments are you crazy? They're shooting they're an unbelievable team. So I think KP's got a conspiracy out against me or something. So we've always wanted to play a tough schedule, but we haven't gotten many breaks to get the Bookers in there like some of these teams have, to get more out of some of those guys. That too, really, in the end of the day, is my fault. But I haven't adjusted maybe everything to knowing that some of these smaller teams are going to get players that transfer from the bigger schools, and they're damn good. So it is interesting, guys. It's an interesting dilemma. But the bottom line to us right now, we have not shot the ball good enough to win those big games. 3 of those 5 games we were up with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. 3 of the 5. And the Duke game, I'd like to play them again, The Wisconsin game, if you look at the film and some of the issues Malik had, it really hurt us in that game. They made some shots, 21% shooter. So that'd be AJ. Hits 4 out of 6 threes. Some of that's our fault. Some of that's the way it goes. And don't think teams don't get up for us when we're a little wounded. And so, our guys understand it. It's a valid, good question. Our guys understand it. I just wish the other guys would understand it. Meaning, I wish that team would understand that Michigan State's pretty good too, and you can be a little nervous coming in and don't shoot 45% from the 3.
I understand you taking responsibility, but from the time they were throwing basketballs into a bushel basket, they still got to make shots. So how do you blame the coach if they don't make shots?
Well, you got to put them in a different position. You just have to. I hear what you're saying. We're not missing as many if you take out that first game, but because we lost that first game, that magnifies it even more. If we would have lost to Duke, nobody would have said a word. Even though, if I look at the 5 teams, and maybe off the record later on, I'm going to ask you guys when we sit in here if you want to come back up, what you thought of the 5 teams, who you thought was the best, who you thought was the worst. It'll be interesting to see your take on it. But I look at the Duke game, and I look at the Nebraska game and, you know, if we would have lost to Wisconsin at home under the circumstances, I mean, Wisconsin's very good. They got a lot of players back, just like we do. They're a very good team. And on that night, they shot the living daylights out of it. They were shooting 30% from the three going into the game. So how do I blame me? I got to figure out a different way to win. If we can't shoot it, let me tell you something. My career started with Judd Heathcote telling me that we have the best offense in the world. You know what it was? The missed shot. Because we just went and got it. We're not doing that. I blame me for that. You know, we got to do a better job of that. If we're not shooting it well, we got to find a different way to win. We got to defend even better. Can't give up 45 in 2 games from the three. I mean, I got to do a better job. So again, if you think I'm taking the pressure off, I publicly called out my centers. I ain't taking any pressure off. I've said we're not shooting the ball worth a damn. I'm not hiding behind that. I'm not trying to take it on myself. But coach's job is to put people in position to win games. Coach's job is to win games. The great part about coaching is it's like big businesses. You know, there is a bottom line, and the bottom line is results, and you got to get results. And have I honestly in the last 2-3 years, maybe I'm the one should be talking to you, in the last 2-3 years look at players differently because of what players have gone through and people? And you can say, well, some schools haven't. Who hasn't? There's been more ups and downs this year than any year in college basketball. We're only 9 games in. So I got to adjust to that. That's coach's job. So put it on me, because I put it on myself. So I don't read what you write, and I don't go on Twitter. So it doesn't affect me, except my good friend Jim Heels, who always tells me don't ever read Twitter, and then he calls me and reiterates everything that was on Twitter. And I tell him thanks, and then tell him to go to hell and then leave, you know. But that's my deal.
Got time for 1 or 2 more?
I'm wondering about that, because that was something, I've been trying to think about this, think about the year where you had Van Dyke on Isaac Haas.
Yeah.
And, but you've also gone through the point guard situation that one year. When you're trying to navigate that changing structure of how to make it work, is there a difference between going with the bigs? Because, I mean, the old saying is you can't coach height, you can't teach height. Right?
Yeah, well, I went with the 2 bigs in the Wisconsin game. Remember I started both of them? How's your theory on that?
You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying, like, from the coaching aspect of it, like trying to figure that out.
Yeah, like this team's got a Bridges kid who's 6'6", is a 4-man, you know. I mean, I think more people are playing with smaller, you know. That's why we're playing Cone Carson at the 4 now, you know. It is an adjustment. You know, I think the biggest adjustment that I got to figure out is, do I want to play freshmen against 23-year-olds sometimes? And that's, you know, that's what I chose to do. You know, the NCAA just came out with an incredible ruling yesterday, you know, in their infinite wisdom and power to make things even more screwed up. And I think we're right around the corner from, if the kids want it and the lawyers want it, we'll probably play at Michigan first semester and Michigan State second. I mean, I think that's right around the corner. And so I got a lot of different things to concern myself with than I did 3-4 years ago. But, you know, a guard's got to rebound better. I mean, why does Jaden have a 10-rebound game and then a 2 or none? You know, guard's got to rebound better. We know we're not real big. Malik's got to be healthy. You know, he missed 5 months. He's got to be healthy. He's better. He's shooting better. But, you know, against Wisconsin, he ain't going to play good with 101 temperature and another coaching decision. You know, that was my decision. He said he could play. I just felt like we needed him against an experienced team and a guy like Wall. Looking back, it was probably a bad decision on my part, not his. He gave me what he could give me. So that's my decision. So you're right, Fred. You know, coaches get blamed for a lot. But I think you're a little wrong that everybody thinks I'm just protecting my players. I do protect my players more than probably most people know. But I also I'm pretty much an open book as far as most things I do.
One of the, with Cohen is he starts to understand what you're doing defensively more. How much does that change him, allowing him to sort of show his athletic ability and give you advantages there and do more with it?
Yeah, like here's one of the problems with him. We're playing him at the 3 and at the 4 because we don't know, like even when, remember now, Malik came back in August, and we started practicing in September, and we said, is Malik going to be okay? Is the foot going to be okay? We play Colin at the 4, and then we said, we got to play him some at the 3. We need more size. The hardest thing to do for a freshman is try to play 2 positions. I did it because I thought that's what I had to do. Now we're trying to play him at the 4 a little bit more, and I think he has gotten better. He's playing 20 minutes a game. Somebody sent me a thing yesterday where the number of freshmen in the country that are playing 20 minutes, you could probably count in this room. It's just amazing. And so Cohen is making great progress, it's been a little hard. We got to get a rotation in there for Fears, but he still does some good things, and Book is a work in progress. And, he's you can't believe all the rankings and everything. He's a damn good player. He's probably not the 5th player in the country or whatever. He's a damn good player. He's got very good skills. He's got great hands. He's got a 42-inch vertical, and he has trouble getting a rebound because sooner or later, physicalness, I think you were the one that said it to me, you watch practice, again, we'll talk about it later off the air, but it's one of the things we're working through, and it's just going to take some time. Time for 1 or 2 more?
From a distance,
Yeah.
it appears Draymond has a problem beyond the last match.
Yeah.
Would you reach out to him, or would you do that to Draymond and the Warriors?
No. I mean, of course I reached out to him, and I didn't talk to him last night. I talked to Travis, who was with him, and talked to his coach, and trying to get all the information. I did not see the incident. I still haven't seen it, if I was to tell you the truth. I heard about it. Brian Gregory was there. He called me about it, and some say that it was a little crazier than others, that he didn't just turn around and punch a guy, but I don't know. The worst part is last week I had a 30-minute talk with Draymond. It was probably the best talk I've had with him in 8 years. 30 minutes, that's a long time to talk to Draymond, But he was great. He's shooting like 40-some% from the 3, he's shooting the ball better. BG said he looks great, he's in great shape. Everything was heading in the right direction. I don't know what happened. I'm going to find out. I'm supposed to talk to his coach after practice today. Hopefully I'll talk to Draymond today. He's 33 years old. He's going to be his own man, but I still have deep love for him, and I still care about him. And, yeah, sometimes I worry, but it was funny. I was talking to Juwan Howard 2 nights ago at a game we were at, and we were talking about the difference in 10 years ago, even in the league, Those things would have been between the Celtics and the Lakers. Those would have been love taps. It's just changed. And you know what? Coaches got to change with the times. Players got to change with the times. I can't say I know what happened because I didn't see it. I've just heard about it and disappointed for him. But, like I said, his coach and I shared texts last night. We're supposed to talk today. Maybe I'll know more after practice if you're here. Last one? One more?
How much do you think, last season, Joey Hauser was a big impact on your starting lineup, obviously. How much do you think he helped, body?
Well, that's a good question because Joey called the other day, and Joey averaged 2.2 makes a game, everybody talks about, and he shot pretty well from the line. But remember, it was the year before that and the year before that when people wanted to hang him from the White House, It was those same people, those same educated people on the internet, you know, nobody understands. Well, one guy in here might understand what these guys go through. And Joey was a kid that wasn't very confident, and wasn't this and wasn't that, and we stuck with him, and through some injuries, through everything, and he made a difference on a team, you know. But how much difference? I don't think he made a difference in Jaden making a shot or guarding somebody. I don't think he made a difference in Tyson. You know, I know why Tyson wasn't as good that 2 weeks. I know exactly why he wasn't as good. But one thing Joey could do is stretch the court a little bit more. Hopefully Malik, as he's getting more and more confident, will help that. I thought we wouldn't be quite as good a shooting team. I thought we'd be a better defensive team Malik in there. But Malik's got to get his sea legs too after 5 months. So all those things are part of the what we're working through, and I couldn't agree with you more. Everybody's looking for reasons. One of the reasons is we played some really good teams. I mean, whoever thought James Madison would be ranked 17th in the country? And on that given night, you go 1 for 20. It wasn't all because of their defense. You go, Tyson Walker scores 35 points and goes 11 for 20 from the free throw line. I mean, you're probably not going to win those games against good teams. So I'm trying to keep things in perspective. Don't let that be, I'm blowing it off as it doesn't bother me, but I try not to think about that either, because Joey's not coming back and playing. You know, Magic says NCAA is past the time. They won't let him have his 2 years back. You know, I have what I have, and what I have is good enough to be damn good. I'm going to tell you all that. It's good enough to be damn good. Your best players got to play well. You know, I talked to Tyson and Jaden. I mean, Tyson and AJ yesterday. The magazines came out. They were the #1 backcourt in America. Well, that wasn't given. That was earned. And yet, best players got to play their best. Best coaches got to coach their best. So I said, you guys haven't done a great job, and I haven't done a great job. So together, we got to get together and do a great job and get this thing rolling again. But, you know, you come off of Wisconsin with Malik like he was. They played well. They made threes. They beat us. We go to Nebraska, who's, you know, it's a pretty good team. We don't play our best. They make some shots. They beat us. You know, now the good news is we got Baylor. And we're looking at it like you said. We're trying to make sure that we need a quality win. This is a more than quality team. Some would argue it's the best team we played. Some think Arizona was. Who knows? I don't know. You know, I thought Arizona was, and then I thought Wisconsin might be, and then I saw what Arizona did to Wisconsin. That thing was 30-some points at one time. I'm as confused as you are, so maybe if you got a free 20 minutes, you should plug me in. But I'm not making light of anything, guys, gals. I'm working on it every day. We're going to get this thing turned around, hopefully sooner rather than later. But as much as everybody, don't let everybody talk about our offense. It hasn't been great. If our defense would have been as good as it should be, we'd have 2 more wins anyway. And free throw shooting is unexcusable. I know how good we are at that. It's unexcusable. Is it in their heads? I don't know. I don't get in their heads. You know, I know what we work on. I know what they do night 4 games. I know how they shoot. I feel good about it. That's going to come. And if it does, we got 2 more wins if we just shoot 70%, which last year we shot 78%. So, Channel 6, you're in trouble. This thing's, I'm out.
Hey, give it